Hey everyone, it's Chris, aka Nitropan. Today we're going to be reviewing blocks. So there's a few type of blocks I want to go through. I'll start off with the upper body. So you've got your initial block, which is your double block. So what you want to do is you want to be, when you're in your fighter stance, so currently I'm in an orthodox stance, I'll bring my hands up, and to block I'm going to put my arms together, right, and block. So that would be a straight punch, so a jab, a cross, an uppercut we'll talk about, but an uppercut would be blocked with the front block like this, and you want to put some weight into it so that you're not just going to, when you take the energy of that block, you're going to get pushed back, right? So you're going to put your arms together and kind of bend your knees a little bit and try to distribute your weight a little bit more forward. So similar to like a cross where you distribute your weight to your front feet, for your front foot, you're going to be doing the same thing with a double block. So that's your double block, and then you have your block for a hook. So if your opponent's in front of you and they're also orthodox, your hook would be going this way, their hook would be coming from the other side. So to block a hook, what you want to do is you want to put your hand like this, and you want to dampen it a bit by turning a little bit. Now you can block lower, right? And be ready for it if you're going to be throwing, like for instance, a cross right after the block. So if someone hits you, you want to be firm and take that hit to throw that cross, but generally you want to dampen some of these hits by turning a little bit and potentially letting it just bounce right off, kind of glide through, and so that would be blocking a hook from the lead hand, or you can also do it blocking the hook from the rear hand. And then the last one, so this would be the rear hand, very similar motion, and you want to put a little bit more weight distribution in the front of your body. And similar to that, you've got your blocking of an uppercut. So if an uppercut is coming like this, right, you're going to be basically dropping your hand down to block that, right? So if someone throws their uppercut forward, you've got that side, so that's for their right hand, their lead hand, and this is for their rear hand. Now you can alternate it, so if someone's throwing a rear-handed uppercut and I block it like this, because it as long as you're covering your chin area, you're going to be able to block it. Then the opportunity is they just threw an uppercut. You could return with the hook or a jab as well, because this side of their body's open because they just threw their uppercut, right? So if you time it correctly, block, and you can hook too. So they vary. It's not necessarily one specific block fits the scenario, right? You have to understand what what you're going to do in return as well. So now we can move on to the remainder, which is your bottom half. So how do you block kicks, etc.? So what you would do is, to block a kick, is you would lift your leg up, almost similar to how you do a push kick. You lift your leg up and you want to bring your knee on the inside of your arm. You want to keep your arm steady as well, because you can easily turn a low kick into a head kick, right? So if you're constantly just doing this to block kicks, there's an opportunity. Why keep your hand down here when you can just keep it up here and block, right? So now if someone's throwing a low kick, you can, if you recognize it's coming low, you can keep your feet lower, especially if you're going to make impact to it. You can do that. Just be careful, because when you do that, you do leave openings, right? And if they're going to kick you, unless they're stepping in, most likely they're going to sweep right past your rear leg unless they step into in their intent of kicking that leg, right? So you got your block, right? And you want to make sure you bring your leg on the inside of your knee. You want to do this, right? First of all, it's just awkward. Secondly, you want to make sure that if they do kick higher, right, a leg is a lot stronger than your arm. So if they kick higher, this leg's going to keep your whole body is going to keep your arm stiff there, rather than if they kick you, right, you could easily turn, or you would have to turn my entire body, right? So that's your front block, and you got your rear block. So similar thing with a teep, right? You want to put your weight, distribute your weight to the front foot, and you want to block, and the same thing, you want to bring it on the inside, right? So if they're doing their front kick on you, that's how you would block it, right? Sturdy, nice and sturdy, right? Similar to when you're blocking a hook, right? And I've seen it done both ways, where you can point your foot down to cover more space to block, especially if you're wearing shin pads, right? If you put your foot down, you give yourself an additional, 5 to 6 inches, based on how long your foot is, to block a kick, right? And so that's your rear block. And then they also have something called a cross block. So a cross block is going to be a little bit different. You're going to always maintain a guard on the top, like not a block, but like a ready stance. And then you're going to cross over. So cross over. So if they're kicking with their front leg or on this side, you're going to cross over and block that. Now some people might find this easier. Block, block. Sometimes it's based on how your distribution of your weight is, right? If you're in the middle of throwing a cross, it's easy to block this. Whereas if you're in the middle of throwing a cross, you have to distribute your weight to block, right? So, or to cross block. So in that scenario, right? So Muay Thai is all about scenarios, right? And you have to master this in terms of your fight IQ to be able to determine which one you use. But for classes, we'll give you a specific instruction. So don't worry about that. So let me go over the basics on the southpaw side. So you've got your double block, right? You've got your blocking of your hook, right? Sorry, this hand is just down to show where this is, but obviously you would keep your arm up, right? So this could block a hook, right? And you want to, with your glove on and everything, you want to minimize the space, because if this space is too open, the hook will just get through, right? So you block right there, you block right there for another hook, right? And then you've got your uppercuts, right? See how my other hand is down? It's not just going to be like this or like this. Obviously, it's easy to keep your hands down when you've got the weight of your gloves, right? It'll conserve energy, but it'll also increase risk, right? So block, block, and so that's your upper body, and then you've got your front block, right? You can do toes pointed down, toes pointed forward, right? Weight distribution back, right? And then you got your rear block, weight distribution forward, toes pointed up, and toes pointed down, right? A variation. If I was going to just do a low block, I might just bring my arm down just a little bit, but make sure my jawline is covered, right? And then you've got your cross block as well, right? So you got your cross block, and in this scenario, you don't bring your arm across, so you would just block it. Okay. So that was a quick video showing you blocking techniques, and we'll go on to demonstrate other techniques. I know we went through all the weapons in the previous videos, your punches, kicks, knees, and elbows. So now I'm just going through the other components, which is, this one was blocks, and I'll probably do a video based on grabs and fakes as well. And we'll discuss that in future videos. So thank you for joining me, and have a great day, everyone. Okay, bye.